Hey guys, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a really fun video and I wanted to show you guys a full face of drugstore makeup. Also going to be makeup that you can do in about 15 minutes or less. So it'll be super helpful for all of you guys who just need to quickly get ready in the morning and go on with your day. So let's go ahead and get started. Also, I have my coffee, so make sure you grab your drink of choice. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and tuck my hair back. And I have my mirror down here that I'm looking at, in case you're wondering. But we're going to go ahead and start with primer. So one of my favorite primers from the drugstore is the Maybelline Baby Skin. This is the Instant Pore Eraser. It's super awesome. It's very, very similar to the Benefit Professional. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this where my pores are like most visible, which is kind of right here underneath my eye, just the sides of my nose. And then I put a little on my nose too. It's super, super soft and smoothing. And a little on my forehead too. Maybe on my chin. Alright, and then next I'm just going to go ahead and spray my face with the Garnier SkinActive Soothing Facial Mist. This is my favorite. I think I talked about it in another video. Ooh, it feels so good. This is so awesome. It smells like roses. Alright, so next for foundation, I have two foundations here with me today. I have the Maybelline Fit Me foundation. It's the Dewy and Smooth. This is one of my favorites. I also have the Pacifica Alight Clean foundation. This has a little bit more coverage, and I also just self-tanned yesterday. So I think I'm going to go with the Pacifica one because it is like a little bit darker. This one's in the shade 32WL Warm Light. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, and I love using my Real Technique sponge to apply my foundation. Just going to apply a little bit on the sponge and then go in onto my face. But I do like the Fit Me foundation as well. But I think it's just a little bit too light for me right now. This one matches me a lot better. Just really blending this in. Also, I forgot to mention this earlier, but I also had already done like my skincare this morning. So I washed my face, I toned, and I used my Clinique moisturizer. So that helped to really prep the skin. I also put a little face serum on my skin as well. And just doing that extra step if you have the time before you do your makeup really just helps the makeup application go on that much smoother. My caffeine is really kicking in. I'm really shaky. Also, don't forget to go onto the ears with your foundation as well as down the neck. I'm going to get a little bit more for the neck. And that just helps to ensure that you don't have any foundation lines and everything just kind of blends together. Even this foundation is a little bit light for my self-tan, but we're going to make it work. Don't worry. We're going to add a lot of bronzer. And of course, since I'm talking to you guys, this video might be longer than like 10 or 15 minutes, but just know I can definitely do this makeup super quick. And as you can see, if you are dealing with some breakouts, this foundation is really, really awesome. It really creates a super smooth and even toned base, and it really just covers up all your pimples. It also has a nice light scent to it as well. I really like this foundation. Alright, so next we're going to move on to concealer, my favorite drugstore concealer. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I also love the L'Oreal True Match, I think it's True Match concealer, or no, it's like the Infallible one. And then I also love the CoverGirl True Blend concealer. Those are all amazing. This one I think is the cheapest of all of them, and yeah, it's like $6. Mine's in the shade Fair 08. We're going to go ahead and apply this just to cancel out those dark circles from staying up and watching YouTube and Netflix all night long. I've definitely been watching some shows recently to kind of just pass the time. My boyfriend and I have been watching Listen to Your Heart. It's super, super entertaining. That one's on Hulu. And then what's another one I've been watching? Oh, I've been watching Outer Banks on Netflix. It's super, super good. If you like drama, a little bit of mystery, I think you should definitely check that one out. Alright, so I'm just going in with my sponge again and blending out that concealer, which I just focused underneath my eyes and a little bit down the nose. And of course, if you have any blemishes you want to put extra coverage on, I would go ahead and add the concealer onto those areas as well. But just applying this concealer underneath your eyes at least will just add some brightness and cover up those dark circles and make it look like you got a lot more sleep than you probably did. Alright, I also went ahead and put the concealer on my eyelid as well because I personally have a lot of like veins and like weird coloring on my eyelid. So that just helps kind of make my whole entire face kind of look all one color, if that makes sense. And it also will act as a good base for anything that you want to put on your eyes. Alright, next we're going to set a little bit with powder. I'm going to go in today with the NYX HD Finishing Powder. This is amazing. This is in the shade Banana. And I'm just going to go ahead, if I can open it up. I'm also going to tap out on my eyelid. This is just a great powder in general. It's not very expensive as well. I really like NYX. They have a lot of awesome products. And I'm just applying this powder with the Real Techniques setting brush. It's really awesome for just getting right up in there under your eye. And I'll just go in and set any other areas where I get creasing, which is like my smile lines, and also go ahead and apply on my nose because a lot of the time foundation does not want to stay on my nose for some reason. So I'm just going to go ahead and also set that. And maybe a little bit right here. But I have pretty dry skin, so I can get away with not fully setting my entire face sometimes, which with fast makeup, sometimes I just don't even want to go in with translucent setting powder and kind of set everything. I just want to go in with a nice powder like this and set that concealer and move on. Alright, so our next step is going to be brows. The product I'm going to be using today is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. And this one I'm using is in the shade Brunette. And I'm going to go in and just spoolie out my brows first. And then I'm going to go in and start to just lightly fill them in. I definitely could spend a lot of time on my eyebrows if I wanted to. But because we're just doing really quick makeup, I'm just going to go in and just define the arch and kind of outline and just fill in real quick. So as you can see, I'm not really like doing too much right here. I'm just really lightly filling it in. Then I'm also going to go ahead and move to the front of my brow. And you can always go back in with your spoolie and just diffuse any harsh lines. In the front of my brow, I just gently flick up to create some brow hairs and a little bit of shape. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other eyebrow. This is definitely my bad eyebrow. Alright, and then now that I'm finished filling in with my brows, I'm going to go in and just set them with a little bit of brow gel. And my favorite drugstore brow gel that I have found is the e.l.f. one, and I believe this is like $1, so super, super affordable. And I'm just going to go in with the eyelash side. I always start with this side first because there's an eyelash side and an eyebrow side, but I really like the spoolie on the eyelash side because it's a little bit more tapered. And I'm just going to go in and set my brows. And I mainly just focus the brow gel on the middle to tail of my brow. I don't usually touch the front just because I like it to stay super, super natural looking, and I don't want all the brow hairs in the front of my brow to be like stuck on. Mostly just the tail of my brow that I have a hard time with keeping on throughout the day. Alright, so now that my brows are done, I'm going to go ahead and move on to bronzer. So the bronzer that I'm going to be using today is the L'Oreal Bronze Please. This is in the shade La Terra, and this is actually a face and body bronzer, so you could also use this on your body if you wanted to in the summertime to look a little bronzy. But we're going to go ahead and apply this to the face. So for this, I like to use Eco Tools. This is the full blush brush, but I like to use it for bronzer. I'm going to go ahead and swirl, tap off the excess, and just go in. This is a really awesome bronzer, and it's huge, so you're definitely going to get a lot of use out of this for the price. It's going to last you a long time. Now, I like a lot of bronzer, but you definitely don't have to apply as much as me. It's really just about warming up your face, and especially if you're like doing Zoom calls or if you're doing anything over like video chats or anything like that for work or school, you definitely look a little bit washed out if you skip like blush and bronzer. So I would definitely go in with some of this, and then you won't be too washed out. Also, I forgot to set my eyelids with powder, but I'll definitely go ahead and do that in just a second. Or did I? I don't remember. And also going down the neck. And then I always like to go in with a smaller brush. This is a BH Cosmetics brush. I'm just going to go ahead and dip in again to the bronzer and just lightly kind of almost contour my nose, but I am using just my bronzer for this. And this will just create the illusion of having a little bit of a smaller nose. A little bit on the tip. And I always bring it up underneath my brow. Alright, I'm going to lightly set my eyelids since I forgot earlier. Alright, so now for my favorite part. I don't know. Bronzer and blush definitely have a tie for like my favorite part of my makeup routine, but I'm going to go in with my blush. This one that I'm choosing today is the L'Oreal Blush Please. It's kind of in the same line as the bronzer, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with this. This one is in the shade number 11, Blushin in Riviera. It's super, super pretty. So I'm going in with this blush now. I like to just start tapping it closer to my ear and then bringing it up onto the apples of my cheeks. And I don't know if you can see that, but it's a super pretty sheen. It has a little like gold sheen on it. And I like a lot of blush, so this really helps to make you look awake and alive. I love blush. And I love to put it on my nose as well. A little trick to look super sun-kissed. So I'll just go onto my nose and onto my cheeks. And of course you can apply this literally everywhere if you want, like I do. Put a little bit on my chin and a little on my forehead as well. This is a super pretty blush. Alright, and then while I have my blush out, I'm actually going to throw a little bit of this into my crease for my eyeshadow. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my eyeshadow brush. This one is an Eco Tools crease brush, and it's super fluffy. And I'm just going to go ahead and dip into the same blush and go into my crease. I love doing this on days that I don't have a lot of time to like go through all my eyeshadow palettes and like figure all that out. So, and it also creates a super awesome, just like monochromatic makeup look. You're just going to look super put together because your eyeshadow matches your blush. So it's just super easy and convenient because you already have your blush out. And it's super pretty. You can, of course, instead of doing blush like I'm doing, you can go in just with your bronzer and add just a little bit of definition into your crease. So you can also do that as well. It's really just personal preference, or you don't even have to do this step and you could replace it with eyeliner. But I just personally, if I'm going to do anything on the eyes when I'm in a rush, it's going to be a little bit of blush or bronzer. And it has a super pretty sheen to it as well. Just going to go ahead and blend this out. Alright you guys, so now I'm going to go ahead and set my face again before I do highlighter. And for that I'm going to go in again with the same Garnier spray. It has such a nice mister. And I love to be glowy, so I feel like this definitely does the trick. And now I'm going to go in with my favorite highlighter right now across the board. This is better than some of my high-end highlighters, and this is the e.l.f. Glow Gleam Beam palette. It's definitely a mouthful. And I'm going to go in with this brush. This is another Real Techniques brush. Clearly I love them. And this is actually a contour brush, but I like to apply my highlight with it. And honestly, I mix like all these together. Tap off and then go in with the highlight. And you can really just put this anywhere that you want to stand out on your face. So for me, that's my cheekbones, down the center of my nose, and my chin, Cupid's bow, and a touch on my forehead. This is just so, so pretty. If you love to be glowy like me, you definitely need this palette, and I think it's about $10. Super affordable because you get 6 highlight shades in here. So it's actually very comparable to the Anastasia Glow Kits. Like seriously, that is the impact that you get from this palette. It's amazing. And a lot cheaper. Alright, and then because I am psycho, I'm going to go ahead and set my face one last time. Alright, so now that we have our beautiful face on, we are going to go ahead and move on to the eyes. Super simple since we already have our eyeshadow done. I'm just going to go ahead and curl my lashes. Maybe drink a little coffee. And we're going to move on to mascara, which I don't have over here. Alright, and then for my mascara today, this is the Petite and Pretty Fully Feathered Volumizing Mascara, and it's super cute packaging. Now, this isn't fully drugstore. I actually just ran out of my last drugstore mascara, but I'll let you guys know my favorite one is the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. That is my favorite, all-time favorite, because it is literally a dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara by Too Faced, which is my all-time favorite mascara. But I am just going to go ahead in with this. This one does retail for $16, so I feel like it's kind of in the middle of drugstore and high-end. It's really good, so I'm going to go ahead and just apply this. This mascara does a really good job of like separating your lashes and lengthening as well. I think it's super pretty. And it's actually a little bit more on the liquidy side, which I normally don't like, but it works super well for me. I think it has a lot to do with the applicator. It's definitely very similar to the Better Than Sex mascara, and I think that's why I like it so much. And you can also just go ahead and do like light stamping of the mascara on your lower lashes. Alright, and then I'm actually going to go ahead and real quick just jump back into our highlighter palette, and I'm just going to take this upper middle shade right here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this to highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. Just kind of further open up the eyes. And my Cupid's bow. And take a little bit on my finger and run that up my nose. And then lastly, we just have lips. So I'm going to be using these 2 products today. The first one is the Maybelline lipstick in the shade Baddest Beige. And this one is the Shine collection. I'm just going to go ahead and run a little bit of this on my lips. And I'm going to diffuse it a little bit with my ring finger. And to top it off, to make it a little bit more glossy, I'm going to go in with this product. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche Balm, and this is in the shade Pink Satin. This is awesome to just add a little bit extra shimmer and gloss. And I always like to just go in and soften it a little bit with my finger. Alright you guys, so that is my completed look. Like I said before, this video is probably a little bit longer than 10 or 15 minutes just because I was talking to you guys and telling you guys, kind of doing a step-by-step what I love to do. But these are my products that I love from the drugstore, and this just goes to show that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get the same beautiful look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!